If a band doesn't have an agent, do they stand any chance of getting a spot on a tour with an actual national touring band?
Sometimes, yeah. I think, some artists just want to tour with their mates. They want to go out and have a good time for 2-3 weeks, so they'll choose a band that they're friends with. So yeah, definitely I think you can. I mean, most of the time the promoters will be hopefully looking for somebody that might shift them a few tickets. So if you can prove that you're worth a few tickets, then that helps as well. Um, I think it's really important if you're starting out as a band to, make good relationships with the the promoters that are working locally to you, because we'll often go out to the local promoters and be like, hey, like we've got this show here. Have you got any good locals that will, bring 30 people in? Because we'd love to fill the room a bit, a bit. So I think that maintaining those relationships with the local promoters is really, really important as you're starting out, and that's almost more important than trying to get an agent too early. We talk to those local promoters all the time. If they're like, look, I've got this act that is consistently bringing 50 people to these shows, you should check them out. We do, we listen.
How do those local promoters become friends with you? Like, if you're somebody that's like, I want to put on my show, and you're only just getting into it, how do you start working with agents?
Yeah, that's a good question. I like working with people who are really responsive and just feel professional to work with. I think you can be professional even if you don't really know what you're doing. Everyone starts out not knowing how to do everything. If you pick the right agents, um, they
Could
kind of
you give us a list of who the right agents are?
no. They can kind of help you along a bit. If you've got an artist that wants to go and play in Portsmouth, but you don't know any promoters, and you've got this like 18-year-old kid who's like in the scene and really like involved and wants to do it, like I love that. As long as they're sending me my ticket counts on time, if they're paying their deposits on time, if they're announcing when we tell them to announce, and um, all their marketing is good and everything is happening as it should. It is a business. We run a business, and it is annoying dealing with people that you're having to chase all the time. So if you can make things easier for agents and do a good job, they remember it. And next time they're going, oh, I need to book a show in Portsmouth. Oh, that person that did that show was actually amazing. I've found some of my like go-to promoters now just from like giving somebody a chance because they were really excited about one of my artists. And now like every time I want to go to like this market, I'm like, oh, that person was really good. I loved working with them. So yeah.
Are there any particular sort of red flags that, if you've given someone a chance and they're sort of fucking it up, that puts you off?
Yeah, if they don't pay on time, that's a big red flag. If they disappear and just don't reply to emails for weeks, that's super annoying. Um, if the show's not great and they're not professional, if they turn up for the show, if they're drunk at the show, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just being professional. It's not rocket science to do a good job on things like that, but it is really easy to do a bad job by being unprofessional.
What should the artist be looking for when they're looking, even if they don't stand a chance of getting the agents, but like they're looking to put their team together, they're hoping to get the manager and they're hoping to get the agents, what should they be looking at as to who they should be pursuing?
Um, what I personally would do is I would find an artist that I think is booked really well. So, yeah, I would go, God, they're on all those festivals this year. And that tour's sold out, and they've got another one. They've got a really cool tour support, and I wonder who's doing that. That's where my brain would go if I was thinking
An
I'm an
artist at the
artist.
same level as them.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Um, or I would kind of go and look at people's rosters and be like, what kind of roster do I want to be on? What other artists do I want to be associated with? What kind of human do I want to represent me? Um, I've got a lot of non-male artists. I've got a lot of queer artists, and they're like, we are fed up of working with straight white men. They're looking for something different, and um, I embrace that and welcome it. And my roster is like, yeah, as I said, kind of predominantly non-male, and I am really proud of that. And that's a huge part of kind of who I am as an agent and what I like to represent. I think you've got to think about who is going to be representing you and who is going to be selling you. So I think that's really important as well.